basically about people filing slap suits because someone calls them a bad name, which I think is important to know about. And also, it's, because I do put this stuff on my YouTube channel, and I do want to highlight the fact that Denims is being a fucking hypocrite, and I'm going to be pointing that out. Because what she's doing is blatantly hypocritical, which I'm going to be pointing out. My guess is Rev may point it out too, but it's something we need to know about. So, let us see what the fuck is going on with this psychopathic anti-Semite. Shall we?
Hey, what's up, guys? Riff here. So today we're going to be talking about the Hassan waiting room.
Man, the walls, and grab the popcorn. It's time for a show.
The, Space Marine sounding a little drunk there, Damon. What did you give him?
Hey, what's up, guys? Riff here. So today we're going to be talking about the Hassan waiting room, better known as Denims TV. Now, why are we talking about her today? Well, she recently started a $150,000 GoFundMe to sue Ethan Klein for defamation. A masterful gambit,
Really?
as you will see based on all the context I'll be providing.
Okay. Defamation. I cannot wait to hear whatever the brain dead rationale she's going to come up with to justify that she has been defamed. Yeah, and Will Atanashi, the fact that she's crowdfunding a lawsuit, it's not laughter. My first question is, how he gonna spin this to scam 150K and just say, oh, it didn't work? That's what I'm thinking is gonna happen. She wants to raise 150K. If she raises 150K, I would strongly suspect that that money will suddenly disappear. And she will just say, oh yeah, we tried to do it and it died and we couldn't get it to go in court. And she steals it. That is my immediate thought for this. Well, no, actually, no, it could be that, because if she says, I can't find a lawyer to take the case, I'm reasonably sure she would be legally obligated under the terms and conditions of GoFundMe to return the money. If she says, I can't find a lawyer to take the case. If she says, I got a lawyer and we tried to bring a case, but things happened and the case couldn't go through, but the lawyer did do work, in quotations marks there, then she could try, then people would not be yelling at GoFundMe saying, this woman made $150,000 and never even did anything. If she claims, oh, we tried to file a suit and it didn't work, then her brain dead following, that'll be enough for her brain dead following to go, that's okay, we gave money for a righteous cause. Unfortunately, the man kept us down. Whereas if she takes the money and says, oh, we couldn't get a lawyer to take our case, then people would be demanding their money back. So if she, she has to at least, try to make a bullshit token effort that they got a lawyer and they tried to make a case, but the court system stopped them because there are a bunch of, I don't know, conservative asshats that hate the Palestinians or whatever fucking excuse she's gonna use. Yeah, basically she'll have a lawyer, have a lawyer in on it who would do some bullshit to basically make it seem like that. Now, I'm not saying, let me clarify. I'm not saying she is doing that. What I'm saying is I would be very suspicious that she would do it. Okay, I am not making any claims that Denims has done that in any way, shape, or form. The fact that she's doing a GoFundMe for this has me suspicious that she might try to do something like this. Just for clarity.
Providing in this video. Now, before we get into the actual GoFundMe here, let's get some context as to who Denims TV
Oh,
is.
wait for that,
So my
Revan. I got
first
something
encounter
on
with
that.
Denims TV was about a year ago when I made a bizarre background cameo in this set of controversy where I made a video talking about how over Stellar Blade drama.
Ember, even Judge Judy wouldn't hear this case. It's dead in the water before it got started.
Well, hold up, Mike, because I want to hear what her rationale is, if one is provided, for how Ethan defamed her. Because that is key. We need to know what the rationale is, how she can quantify defamation. Which is probably going to be bullshit. I have no doubt about that, but I want to hear it from her own lying mouth of how she thinks she has been defamed by Ethan.
A Twitter user put a $20,000 bounty on the head of Mark Kern. I said that was insane. Asmongold then reacted to my video and said, true, and then Denims TV reacted to that video and said, I want to up the bounty to $30,000, which is crazy considering the fact this was all over Stellar Blade related drama. And this got serious enough where the FBI
Ping, I trust you.
contacted Asmongold, where he did not want to pursue any further action, which is also ironic because the threat was directed towards Mark Kern, but that's a whole nother thing. She was also involved in the infamous sponsored Twitch panel where they did a race-based tier list where, of course, Arabs were in the S tier, meaning good, and Jews were in the F tier, meaning bad. And guess where Ethan Klein went? Well, he was the first one into the F tier. She was also...
And by the way, I will repeat this because it bears repeating. Denims, Hassan, Frogan, everyone in that circle loves to basically label Ethan and his wife Hila as Zionists. That is one of their favorite words, is to label them as Zionists. One of their favorite words. Denims has chosen to use different words, which I will get into later. I will just remind you, everyone in chat, as well as everyone that might happen to be watching my video here on YouTube. I will remind you, Zionist literally means nothing more than the belief that the state of Israel should be allowed to merely exist. It says nothing about the content or the context of the people contained with it, the governments, the sociological aspect of anything that anybody in the people or the government within the state of Israel do, their sociological or ideological beliefs. It is literally just the dictionary definition of Zionist is that you believe the state of Israel has a right to simply exist as a sovereign nation. That's it. That is what the dictionary definition is. People like Denims, Hassan, Frogan, iDubbbz, all of them have literally changed that to basically categorize them as murderers. That's it. They've taken, again, they are twisting and muting words like they do with everything, like they've done with Nazi, misogynist, transphobia, everything, all that. They've taken the word and they've basically completely neutered it. And yes, Sphinx, thank you. So, the dictionary definition, an international effort working in the beginning for a Jewish homeland and later for the support of Israel. It's like literally just saying Israel should exist. That's it. That Israel has a right to exist as a sovereign nation, as a sovereign state. But they've twisted it to basically turn it into a slur. Yeah, exactly. So that's exactly what it is. These asshats have taken the word Zionist and twisted it and morphed it and turned it into a fucking slur. Because it works for their narrative. And you know why they've twisted it and used it as a slur? You want to know why I bet it? You want to know why I bet they did that? Because of how the word sounds. I've been thinking about this. The reason why they have taken the word Zionist and turned it into a slur against the people of Israel is literally because of how it sounds. Zionist. It sounds sharp. There's a sharp sound to the word. It sounds like it should be something evil or vile. Just because of how it sounds. Ignoring completely the actual definition of the word. That is why they have taken the word Zionist and they have turned it into a literal racial slur against Israel. That's it. That's honestly it.
Also someone who reacted to a hit piece on Ethan Klein and his family where the user claims that their house was filled with shits, that his children were rolling around and constantly eating dog shit, and that it was basically a house of horrors, you know, a description of a house this person who made the video had never seen before. And Denims TV would react.
And that was, for those that don't know, the peep that got, if I remember correctly, the one who made that video claiming that the house is full of shit and that the children are playing in shit and that the housekeeper supposedly is suing Ethan and that their home is disgusting. If memory serves, the one who made that claim was Bad Empanada. You know, the guy that made a video saying TikTok and looked like a fucking terrorist. That's who made the claim that Ethan's house is just covered in dog shit and that the children are playing in dog shit and that his whole home is filthy, etc., etc., etc. That came from the guy that literally looks and acts like a terrorist.
This in front of thousands of people, and the chat would be spamming many different messages about calling CPS. As you can see right here, this is an edited list of people saying call CPS
of course, Jack,
within her chat. Now, she pointed this out and said, this is very fraudulent. This is an edited list, which everyone already knew. It was just curating all of the messages saying similar things about calling CPS. This was a part of her smoking gun response to that situation, where she also inadvertently revealed that there was nearly 1,000 messages about CPS in her chat, which is not exactly the own she thought it was, and that was a part of her epic debunking of Ethan's CPS lies, which, as you can see by the like-dislike ratio, went really well, and also in that video, she never explained why she thought it was okay or tried to justify CPS being called on someone because it doesn't matter, because Ethan's kids are 3 and 5, they don't have memories yet.
Okay, hang on. Need to enhance my calm because this one is the one. And chat, I will do you a favor and even though she is admittedly cute, I'm going to stay right where I am so you guys don't have to look at Denims while she's speaking. I want you guys to keep your lunches down and everything. This is what got me fucking hot in a bad way when I first heard about this. You guys remember I went fucking off on Denims when she pulled this bullshit. So I'm going to try and keep it together, and because every time she says this, it boils my blood. So I'm going to try and keep calm on this one this time.
Create any bad memory for them. You're not forming memories at 3 years old, and it's very
yes,
rare
you
that
are,
you're
you
forming
stupid
memories
fucking
at 5
cunt.
years old.
Yeah. And it's not, and again, as I said, and I'm going to keep saying this. It's not even about forming memories. It's forming emotional responses, you dumb cunt. It's not a question of having an actual memory. It's emotions stick with you far longer and far more cohesively than memories do. You don't need to have a memory of CPS coming and disrupting your home to have the instinctive emotional response. This is where PTSD comes in. is with matters of PTSD, it's not explicitly the memory of something that happened. It's the emotional response that is elicited from a similar situation. The emotion is felt much more keenly than the memory is remembered. So you're maybe not remembering exactly the event in specific, but you're remembering how you felt during that event and other events of similar nature. Your mind will instinctively recognize them and elicit the same emotional response, in this case of fear, if you experience something similar. That's kind of how PTSD works, is for soldiers that experience PTSD from combat. Is okay to give a very, very, very bare bones comparison here. It's like the soldiers that have gone through combat, and the end result of going through combat is they experience PTSD. Happens to far too many soldiers, but it happens to a lot of soldiers. When they return to civilian life, the sound of a car backfiring, while it doesn't sound like a gunshot, while it may or may not sound like a gunshot, it's similar enough that the mind will instinctively go, gunshot, explosion, you're under fire, fucking run. And you experience that sudden, keen emotional sensation that you experience when you're in combat. It's not specifically the memory of that event, although that may be a part of the equation, but it's more the emotions you experienced during that time that will suddenly come roaring to the forefront and sort of take over. And that's why people with PTSD, that they will react in a way without even realizing they're doing it. They will be reacting instinctively because of the heightened emotional response that they suddenly find themselves experiencing, that will basically guide or even force their actions. The same thing can be applied here with Ethan's kids, depending on how badly this event happened with CPS. If it was indeed traumatic, and we don't know if it was or not, that emotional experience will stick fucking with them for most of, if not their entire lives. Because at young age of like 3 and 5 years old, that is when stuff imprints on you. No, it's not, Cortans. It absolutely is not. I was using Combat Zone just as an example that most people might be able to understand easily. I'm fully aware that PTSD is not, strictly speaking, limited to soldiers that have gone through combat. I am not. But this kind of stuff that happens at 3, 5, you are at an extremely impressionable age. It is like the beginnings of your development as a person. Something significant happens, something traumatic happens, that sticks with you for years or possibly even your entire life. So Denims, fuck you. You dumb fucking thundercunt. That's not how brains work.
Nah, yes, you are. No, you're not.
And her chat even tried to correct her.
When we're talking about being able to remember, being able to recall memories, it's like 4 is the cutoff. But even if you are forming any memories at 4, you're not going to be able to remember them past like 15.
She was also a proud member of the gaggle of goofballs who made the content cop on H3 uploaded by iDubbbz recently. You can see her in the background really showing off her empathy and emotional maturity as she does a Fortnite dance in the background of a video that's supposed to be concerned about the mental health of Ethan Klein. And as you can see, that video has done really, really well. Another gigantic dislike ratio on that video, as we can see here. But now we fast forward to the present.
Here we go.
Denims has publicly announced that she's making this lawsuit. She's trying to get a GoFundMe for it, saying, Ethan Klein, retract, or you may want to replace your lawyer who, quote unquote, can't do shit. Despite publicly acknowledging that I have never endorsed or even denounced calling CPS on Ethan, he has continued to spread this malicious lie with a link to EthanKleinLied.com. We should hold individual creators like this to the same
Yeah,
standard we hold.
she's calling him an influential, not individual. We should hold influential creators. Rev, misread that, but that is a key note here. She's calling him an influential creator.
Hold anyone else to. I am going to do my part. If Ethan Klein doesn't retract his lies about me, I will look into legal avenues to convince him that he should have, which...
Okay. I don't know if Rev is going to say this. He might. But I wanted to say it. I want to say this. She's trying to pull this bullshit. Claiming that it is defamation. That she endorsed pulling CPS on Ethan. Not even going to speak to that. Because we've only seen snippets of her stream. So, that was in regards to the CPS thing. So I don't know if outside the snippets that we've seen, she has said anything that could be considered endorsement of calling CPS. I don't know, so I'm not going to speak on that. What I am going to speak on, though, is if she wants to pull this shit, if she actually does try and hit him with a lawsuit, I guarantee you, the moment he receives that service, the moment he gets served legal papers from Denims about a lawsuit, he will be on the phone to his lawyer saying, cool, draw up a countersuit right now against Denims for calling my wife a murderer. Because leave us not forget, and I strongly suspect Reb is going to bring this up, leave us not forget, we've seen the video footage. She put this the fuck out on Twitch. She was watching when Helia was talking about when CPS got called on them. And she was understandably emotional about that. And what does Denim say in her stream when she's walking about this? And I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember the exact quote. She said, oh, everybody stop. The child murderer is taking a break. She's collecting her thoughts. Let's let the child murderer take a break from slaughtering babies to, compose herself. She literally said, no, that there's no misunderstanding it. She literally claimed that Gila was a child murderer on her stream. That is the definition of defamation. If Ethan and Gila can prove that they have received harassment based upon her statements like that, she's fucking done. She's absolutely fucking done. Because she actually called Gila on her stream, called her a child murderer. Literally made that accusation. And it's not like a lawyer would have to go far. Plenty of people have shown these clips. Rev, me, and it's probably part, in her VODs. She basically presented all the evidence necessary for Ethan's lawyer to bitch slap the fuck out of her with a defamation lawsuit that's a hell of a lot more viable than this defamation suit that she's trying to throw at Ethan. So if she actually were to go forward with this, if this is not a scam to try and get $150K from people, if she actually does serve him with a lawsuit, I guarantee you, Ethan will turn around and bitch slap the fuck out of her with a countersuit and say, by the way, here's the receipt. Do you really want to play this fucking game? Because guess who's going to win in that little fight? It ain't going to be Denims.
This is a very dangerous Pandora's box I don't think they want to open about holding influential content creators like this to the same standard we hold anyone else to. She might want to look to her left and to her right and the people she associates with and the things that they're doing before she starts worrying about what Ethan Klein is doing. Also, this whole thing is predicated on the fact that she thinks that Ethan is implying that she's the result of these CPS calls, which is his inference. But if we're talking about implying things, boy, she really likes to imply things about Ethan's wife, Ela.
Here we go. Here we go.
Him. They're like, oh,
just to like bring her back to reality for a second.
I mean,
If you opened the
Guys, the IDF member is bringing us back to reality. Okay?
Wait for it.
The IDF member is bravely taking a break from killing unarmed children to bring us back to reality.
Oh, there it is. Good job, Denims. You just fucked yourself. Because you decided to play this little fucking game, you just fucked yourself. And you really want to try and bring a defamation lawsuit against Ethan? I'm going to shift a little bit just in case, so this is very fucking clear. I'm going to play it back again. And I'm going to shift slightly, so there is no mistaking who's saying it, just in case, by chance, my little video on my little stream happens to be picked up by a lawyer that needs to utilize evidence. Here you go.
you opened the
Guys, the IDF member is bringing us back to reality. Okay? The IDF member is bravely taking a break from killing unarmed children to bring us back to reality. Sorry. Terror babies. Terror babies. Terror babies. Sorry.
Destiny subreddit, it does not make you an arbiter of destiny.
So here's the actual page of this lawsuit here, titled Suing Ethan Klein for Defamation Legal Fund with a goal of...
Tornado. I don't know if you were here when I saw that the first time. I went the fuck off when she pulled this bullshit. I went the fuck off. Like, cause this was all, that was part of the whole thing of where she was saying, oh, fuck the kids, fuck the kids. They they're too young. They're, what you crying about? They're too young to develop memories. It's fine that they get traumatized. Who fucking cares? Like, that was part of that. And yeah, I went the fuck off on that one.
$150,000. That's a lot of clams, and as you can see, she has raised about $31,000 so far in the first 24 hours, which is really hilarious for reasons I will explain in just a second. But kind of off the cuff here, I remember when Alyssa Mercante, the former Kotaku editor, made her lawsuit against Smash JT, and he was able to raise $25,000 in part of his defense, his legal defense, to hire Ron Coleman, his lawyer, and people said that was a ridiculous number. He doesn't need $25,000. How greedy and selfish. Well, here we have $150,000 to go after Ethan for defamation, which is a laughable...
Sphinx, that's what I was saying at the beginning. This feels like a scam. Say, I need $150K to sue Ethan. It feels like a scam. It may not be. That's why I said that's why I'm saying it's maybe she's trying to hire a really good lawyer who is charging her like $1,000 a day or something. I don't know. But that's why at the beginning of the video I was saying, okay, this feels sketch as hell. And I would not trust this at all. I don't know. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't know. This feels sus as fuck. And I wouldn't trust it. But she has got her community of devoted followers who clearly are throwing money at her. Actually, it may not even be her devoted followers. It's just people that fucking hate Ethan. She's basically banking on her community and upon widespread hatred of Ethan. Maybe she's even tried to tap Hassan's community too, where, she's actually suing Ethan, who Hassan's community actively fucking hates and probably wants dead. And so like, fuck yeah, I'll throw $5 at this so we can try and sue Ethan and make his life miserable. So that's what's happening. It's just the question is, if she hits that 150K goal, is there actually going to be a lawsuit? Because that's where I'm sus about it. I'm very sus that even if she does raise all the money she's got, that she's actually going to hire a lawyer to try and file a defamation lawsuit. Because my guess is if she does hire a lawyer, if she does successfully hire a lawyer, the moment the lawyer looks into this and sees that clip of her that we just saw, the two clips, the clip where she was talking about, the kids can't even remember anything, fuck them, and where she basically called Hila a child killer, the lawyer's gonna go, are you fucking stupid, you dumb bitch? You really want to open this giant fucking can of worms and try to sue Ethan? You do realize the second we do this, you're going to get slapped with a lawsuit that's probably going to ask for about 5 times what you're asking for, and they're going to win. So it's all shades of I don't trust this at all.
Claim, because there's a lot she has to overcome here. She has to prove 2 things, essentially. This is what it boils down to. Was she defamed by Ethan? And also, very importantly, what damages did she suffer from the words of Ethan Klein? Now, let's get real here. Her reputation, as you already probably know, is in the mud. Okay? I don't think her reputation took any sort of a blow from this situation. But in terms of everything else, her career, for example, what harm did she suffer as a result of Ethan's words? That's what she's going to have to prove with this $150,000 endeavor she's on. And if you look at her channel, right?
Yeah, and who is it that just said it? Canito. Yeah, chances are, if you look at the numbers, when she said that about Ethan, she benefited. When Ethan said that about her, she benefited, because controversy for streamers like Denims is their bread and butter. They make their living based on saying something about another content creator, that content creator slapping back. And when that happens, they get more views. They get more interest. So in court, it's going to show that she's gone up. I mean, look at the fucking graph. Steady fucking increase.
All you see in the past month.
Look at that. Look at this. When she started the attacks is when it shot up. This is when it it skyrocketed. When she started talking about this.
Is green up arrows. In fact, if you look at her channel performance over time for Twitch, she is at an all-time high in terms of viewership.
Yep.
What harm did she suffer from this situation? That is the crucial aspect of a defamation suit. What harm did Ethan Klein's words about this particular situation do to you? Where is it? I'm not seeing it. If anything, this has actually garnered more attention towards your career and your platform, which is...
Resin, simple answer. The same people that watch Hassan. Because like Frogan, Denims is sucking Hassan's dick and basically using that magical streamer jizz to boost her own channel. Because the people that watch Hassan will watch her because she basically simps for him, so they simp for her. It's just like Frogan. They're basically in their own little bubble, and they want to hear the people that echo their bullshit. And so that's why. So basically, she's getting, essentially speaking, she's getting Hassan's sloppy seconds. Flat up. She is the sloppy second girl for Hassan. And she's benefiting from it. There's no denying. She's benefiting from being Hassan's sloppy seconds. It's benefiting her. She's getting 4,000 average views. That translates into ad revenue. I have no idea how much she's getting in terms of bits and subs. It doesn't show. We've just got followers. We don't have bits and subs, so I have no idea about that. So yeah, she's actually benefited. So she's gonna get all this money. She's gonna spend money to consult with a lawyer. The lawyer's gonna say, "You ain't got shit." She's gonna go, "Oh darn, it didn't work. I'm sorry, guys." Pockets money. She'll spend a fraction of it on the lawyer. The lawyer will say, "Sweetheart, you don't have a fucking case. Get the fuck out of my office. I'm not ruining my reputation for you." And she'll go, "Okay, sorry guys, no lawsuit." Pockets money. That is a legit possible scenario that we could be looking at with this.
Very odd to then respond with a lawsuit. Again, $150,000 to accomplish. And there are times where you can win a defamation suit but not get damages. Basically, it's the
when it comes to lawyer consultations, if the lawyer has to do work, that's the key thing. If the lawyer has to do work, that they will charge you money for it. If they sit down and they basically just impart knowledge to you, like I know with say divorce attorneys, if you sit down and you want to consult with a divorce attorney, like, "Hey, I'm going through a divorce, I've got this scenario," and the lawyer does not actually have to do any research or anything like that, that would be like a free consultation. The lawyer can just give you some knowledge and say, "Okay, yeah, this might be possible," and then they can give you the rates. For what she's looking for, if the lawyer actually has to do work and research, money. Pay the lawyer. So I doubt she'd be able to get a free consultation on something like this.
Again, $150,000 to accomplish. And there are times where you can win a defamation suit but not get damages. Basically, it's the court saying, "Yeah, you won. You proved you were defamed in this situation. Here's a piece of paper saying that person lied about you, but you're not getting damages." So people are going to raise $150,000 to say Ethan lied about this situation. Seems like a bit of a waste of time.
Very possible, astronaut. That's what I'm thinking too.
Might last years. Like, I don't know what she's thinking getting into this. On top of that, she's going to open herself up to discovery, which includes things that she has said. I don't really know if she wants the possibility of a countersuit over defamation as well, because she's also said some very out-of-pocket things about Ethan, his wife, and his family.
Yeah.
It's just a very odd situation, and you can see her official statement here, which I will say to her,
here we
unlike
go.
the Alyssa Mercante situation, she actually did censor out the personal information of Ethan Klein, which is more than we can say for that former situation. But she states here, these are the reasons why they're pursuing this. On March 7th, Ethan said Denims is participating in the CPS lie. On the 10th, Denims endorses this. Clearly, as you can see, she's not moderating this at all and is pretty much 100% of the comments saying, "Call CPS on them, their kids should be taken away." On the 11th, you repeatedly insinuated that Denims was responsible for the CPS call, labeling her the real villain of the video. You also stated she has been a nasty, pathetic, lying, just like such a horrible, disgusting person because you believed she was behind the...
The quote in Denim's own little thing here doesn't say that she was behind the CPS call. Saying she is the real villain of the video and she's in such a nasty, pathetic, lying, just like a horrible, disgusting person. None of that in your own quotes says that he believed she was behind the CPS call. You tanked your own fucking argument with this right here. If you were going to specify that Ethan believed she was behind the CPS call, you would have had a quote with him actually being more forthcoming in saying she was behind the call. The real villain in the video and is a nasty person and disgusting person does not indicate that he believed she was behind the call. Congratulations, you played yourself.
CPS call, and then on April 18th, saying, making references to Denims, you said terrorist sympathizers who support CPS coming and taking my children away. She's directly
sympathizers,
responsible
plural.
for CPS coming to my house. She is directly linked to the CPS coming to my house, doing what she did, being like, oh, let's call CPS. He's an abuser. He neglects his children. Like, we need to call CPS, etc., etc. Girl who accused me of leaving shit on the floor and that CPS should be called. She did CPS. Remember that. Talking about your friends propagating CPS coming to my house to take my kids away on the 21st. Again, in reference to Denims, Ethan said, you don't lie about people's kids and have CPS go to their house. Those are the defamatory statements they're claiming in this lawsuit, but I don't.
And what he's and a big part of the reference here is memory serves. There is a Reddit for like Denims has like a Reddit. Oh, no, wait, is it Denims specifically? No, it's not. It's there. There's a big thing was the Reddit that was dedicated to basically attacking Ethan, and it's largely a very large part of that community is Denims community. And the fact of the matter is, she continually bashes on Ethan every chance she gets, but never once said to her community, and I think this is a big part of it, she never once said to her community, while she is bashing on Ethan, while she was basically bashing on his kids, on his wife, never says to her community, leave them the fuck alone. We can criticize them all we want. We can call them names all we want. But don't actually attack them. And while a streamer is not necessarily responsible for his or her community's actions that the streamer does not call for, like just because a streamer does not have to say, go get them. If the streamer does not say, go get them, and the community goes and gets them, a streamer is not necessarily responsible for the behavior of their community because you're a streamer. You're here to entertain. However, with mitigating circumstances, if you are literally on your stream attacking another person, calling someone a child murderer, saying, oh, it doesn't matter, the kids, it doesn't matter the CPS got called, the kids are not going to remember anyway, or promoting that the children are living in poverty situation and painting a picture to your community that is a lie, that the children of Ethan and Hila are living in squalor, now you're culpable. Now you really are culpable. Okay, legit, I am not responsible for how you guys behave off stream. What you guys do outside of my stream, outside of my community, is not my business. If you want to do something outside my screen, outside of my community in some way, it's your life. You can do whatever the hell you want with it. But I have said, and I will continue to say, do not go attacking people. Damn sure don't do it in my name, because I'm not advocating for attacking anyone. Because that's not how we roll. Had Denims actually said everything she said, but also said, don't go after Ethan, don't go after his family. We can bash them all we want verbally like we're doing on stream, but do not go after him. That would have been different. But she didn't do that. And what she said is so inflammatory. She, as a reasonable person, without saying to her community, leave them the fuck alone, as a reasonable person, saying that level of inflammatory garbage, you would know, okay, that is going to elicit action from my community. Because let's face it, she is a community of extremists. She is friends with a terrorist sympathizer. She sympathizes with terrorists. Her community is a community of extremists. As a reasonable person, she would know that by using such inflammatory language that her community would attack. And that potentially could be the argument that a lawyer could make in regards to Debs. Because she couldn't be a decent fucking human being. That's just too far outside her wheelhouse. It's just not within her character to be a decent fucking human being. And honestly, it's pretty sad and pathetic.
I don't really have much of a reason to take this person seriously about defamation when the same person said that Ethan should be sued by a Houthi terrorist because Ethan called them a terrorist. That this terrorist should sue Ethan in Yemen. Now, he is...
Cool. Denims, thank you for showcasing that you are actually a terrorist sympathizer. Like, before it was just Hassan, because Hassan brought, the Houthi terrorists onto his show, called them Luffy, supported the hell out of them. Now Denims joins in being a terrorist sympathizer. Hey, Twitch. Hey, Twitch. You good with this? You good with one of your streamers supporting an actual terrorist organization that is labeled as a terrorist organization by the majority of countries in the world? Not just the US. The majority of civilized nations around the planet have labeled the Houthis as terrorists. Are you okay with her basically being supportive of them like this? Just curious.
Factually correct, at least in the United States, because the Houthis are a designated foreign terrorist organization. He is a member of that, aka making him a terrorist. That is not defamation. Yep. But the fact that they're trying to stand up for a terrorist over claims of defamation, and then they're trying to do the same.
I know, Fishy, I know.
Defamation suit at someone else is absolutely wild. But Ethan would provide a response to all this, as we'll see right now.
Don't sue me, Denims. Please. Please don't take the first legal action.
What's that have to do with anything?
For clips.
Denims is a giant turd-eating monster who is life, financially speaking, I'm going to probably not ruin, but I do want to put her in some. I do want to. I would like to put her into some financial.
Ethan, I'll help you out here. He gonna give her a hurting real bad. Someone gonna get a hurting real bad. That's what's gonna. He basically. I think what he's saying is he wants to give her a bit of a financial hurting. Because, as I've said before, that's the only way people that do shitty things will learn their lessons. You do shitty things, you hurt them in the way to make them sit up, take notice, and go, okay, maybe I shouldn't fucking do that, is you hit him in the wallet. That's what I was talking about earlier. And I think that's what Ethan's talking about here, too. You wanna get someone to, You want to stop a bully these days? You don't stand up to the bully. You basically reach in their pocket, take out their wallet, and go, this belongs to me now. That's how you stop a bully these days. Realistically. And Billy, thank you for the follow.
Declaring bankruptcy?
Ethan, why don't you just chill? No, what's the proper verbiage on this? Difficult
yes, Dad.
days.
You want to steal their lunch money.
That sounds too bad. I want to put her into a pickle.
It doesn't sound serious enough. Pickle sounds like something like a funny.
Someone gonna get her hurting real bad.
Want to put her into a bit of a bind. We'll work on it. I'm kidding, by the way.
So yeah, that's basically the situation. As you can see, Ethan is shaking in his boots, but this whole thing is just laughable. I don't really know why anyone would want to subject themselves to a long legal process for something that's probably not going to work out in their favor. It just seems like some call to attention here. But anyways, that's the
Could
situation.
be. She could
As
use this
always,
for her
feel free to
strain.
share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
Could be. She could be using this to try and drive to her channel too. This could be some kind of like fucked up marketing. That's entirely possible too. I mean, as screwed in the head as she is, it could actually be some crazy fucking attempt at marketing. I'm not going to rule that out. As nutso as she is, it's possible. It is legitimately possible.